dear students, and very warm welcome to this online class. Our subject is e-commerce. Today we are finishing the first module. Then the last topic we want to discuss, that is e-commerce infrastructure. So that is the last portion of this module. Okay. So what is the meaning of infrastructure? So infrastructure is the foundation of any business organization. If the infrastructure is not a proper or the right one, it will goes to the failure of any business organization. So in the changing world, we must choose a proper infrastructure for the development of e-commerce. So there is a necessity to take a good technique and proper technique for the development of e-commerce and take a good infrastructure to fulfill the requirements of the customers and to fulfill the trends of the market. So these are the three important ones to be taken at the time of making an infrastructure. What are they? First one, must apply a good technique, must fulfill all the requirements of the customers, and it will cope up with the trends of the market. So for fulfilling these requirements, we want to improve the infrastructure of the e-commerce and the address to fulfill the requirements of the customers and to collect or attract the customers in a proper way. So we must study in this chapter, the last portion, e-commerce infrastructure. What are the components related to the e-commerce infrastructure? What are they? Hardware, software, networks, facilities, etc. are the important components of e-commerce infrastructure. So we go to the topic. Okay, let us start with the topic e-commerce infrastructure. Today we will discuss the different components of e-commerce infrastructure, that is hardware, software, then the networks, facilities, etc. First of all, we will discuss about the what is meant by the e-commerce infrastructure. The e-commerce infrastructure requires a variety of hardware, software, and different types of networks. So for the proper development of the infrastructure, that is the backbone of all business organizations. For this, we must apply or adopt uh, most popular hardwares and the softwares and the networks. The key infrastructures that are needed to support e-commerce applications are networks, different types of or the web servers or the providers, web server support and software, electronic catalogs, web page designs to attract the customers, and internet access components for the broadband lines, etc. So these are the supporters or the supporting techniques to be supported to develop the infrastructure of e-commerce for the attraction and for the satisfaction of the customers. In the first component, that is the hardware. So the hardware infrastructure, what are the different hardwares for which is used for the infrastructure? At the time of we will be discussing about the EDI. First feature of EDI, that is computer to computer. So the backbone is a computer. So computers in the backbone connected by a data connection. for interchanging the data into informatic language of the computer. Then the second one, ISP host and other powerful computers connect using lines, that is by using the broadband lines. What is the meaning of ISP? That is Internet Service Provider. So an Internet Service Provider host and other powerful computers connect by using different types of broadband lines. And the third one, that is leased lines. The important users or the parties involved in e-commerce, these are the business users or the business partners. These business partners use a leased line for the application of the hardware infrastructure. Then different types of modems like modem dial-up connections or cable modems. Through the cable modems we implement the infrastructure. And the last one, that is ADSL, that is asymmetric digital subscriber line. What is the meaning of asymmetric? That is not unique, not identical. So asymmetric digital subscriber lines is also used for the used as the hardware infrastructure. So these are the important supporters or the providers used for the hardware infrastructure. The second component, that is web store requirements. We must use or we must have a web store, a storage place to uh, store all communications or the information from one computer to other computers. So for the web store requirements, an organization first venture into electronic commerce, that is e-commerce, is the development of a website. A website which is suitable to attract all the customers and must fulfill all the requirements of the customers. For this purpose, we must develop a website which is most suitable and attractive to the customers and the creation of a presence on the internet. So for the development of a website, we must use the source, that is the internet. Then e-commerce transactions must be executable worldwide without any delay or mistake. For what purpose? What is the object of developing a website? That is to execute a worldwide web and without any delay or mistake in the communication. The communication must be proper because there is no communication between the face-to-face communication. For avoiding any mistakes or malpractice or miscommunication, we must use a proper website. On a very basic website, an organization provides information about itself, its products, and its services. So, an organization give all the features or give all information about the organization and about the products of the organization and the services provided to the public, it also to be disclosed through the website. Then the last, a more developed website will allow some interactions such as sending an email to request for the information or schedule an appointment or ordering. So through this website, the business partners or the business parties or the users communicate the informations like the request, that means purchase orders, and the status and the payment, about the payment and the terms and conditions of the orders, and after service communications is also made by using the website. Next advantages of this website or web storage, that is good designs can be very rewarding. As earlier I told that a web design which will attract the customers, through the attraction of the customers, we will lead to a business transaction. For this, a good design must be a rewarding point for the efficiency of the organization. Then outsourcing web page designs should be carefully evaluated because of the high cost. If we give an order to an outsider or we use a professional for developing a web page or web design, it will make a high cost, huge cost. The cost involved in the advertisement or for the sales promotion, it will add the cost of the product. So outsourcing web page design should be evaluated because there is it will make a huge cost. Then the company can register its website with a domain name as well as registering it with the major web search engines. All web designs or web pages must be registered in a domain name. Through this, the customers or the public or the users can identify which is the search engine to know about that particular organization or to know about that particular product. Then a good website must have a fast catalog, search engine, special discounts, credit cards, and other payments and shipping alternatives so that it can attract new customers. So through the website, the organization must can give different types of informations. What are the informations that are the mm, search engines and the discounts allotted or allowed to the customers, then credit cards and other payments and the shipping status, like that information which is given by the organization through these websites. It must offer customer support via help menus, tutorial classes, and list of FAQs. What is the meaning of FAQ? That is frequently asked questions. All doubts of the customers or the public, it must be solved by or through the website. For this, they will make or support help menus or tutorials for the instructions or giving about the practical training of their products, etc. And make a source to clear their doubts by using FAQs, that is frequently asked questions. For covering all these features, we must develop a suitable web storage place. It will lead to a effective and efficient infrastructure to the organization. Next component, that is electronic payments. We know that any product is to be exchanged for the money terms. So all the buyers must pay the payment to the seller through the electronic payments. In the traditional period, the payment is given as cash or check or DDs, etc. But at the time of implementing e-commerce, we must use electronic payments like electronic fund transfer, etc. So the important component related to the e-commerce infrastructure, that is electronic payments. Payments are an integral part of doing business, whether in the traditional way or online. The business transaction, any business transaction, which is traditional or online, they must pay money to their products, to the business organization. So payments is a must for a business transaction. In most cases, traditional payment systems are not effective for electronic commerce. You know about the difference between the traditional commerce and electronic commerce. So the main change from traditional commerce to electronic commerce, that is about the payment. In the traditional period, we use the cash or writing a check or sending a money order. These types of payments is done at the time of traditional commerce. But in the new time, that is the electronic commerce period, we must transfer the payment or the cost of the product through electronic fund transfer or electronic checks or electronic credit cards likewise. So this is the most change or most important factor it is to be noted, that is electronic payments. Usually in e-commerce, payments between buyers and sellers can take place electronically, that we know about the electronic payments. Then, special electronic payments have been developed to handle ways of paying for goods electronically on the internet. So, we must develop what are the sources is to be used for collecting the payments. That is the payment from the buyers. It is an important one, and there is a protection or security is required to protect the fund of the buyers who transfer their fund to the business organization. So it must be carefully handled by the business organization. These include what are the sources applied or supporting documents, supporting sources for the electronic payments. These include electronic fund transfer, electronic checks, electronic credit cards, and electronic wallets. What is the meaning of wallets? That means a plastic card. The plastic card, a pocket-sized flat folding case for holding money, that is wallets. So sometimes we use these electronic wallets. Next one, that is encryption. What is the meaning of encryption? I think you know about the encryption. At the time of using the WhatsApp, you see the word encryption. Against this word, you can see a lock. So that is the meaning of encryption. Encryption means locking system. A public key and a private key is used for this encryption for the locking system. If any person is locked by using a public key, it can be unlocked by using a private key. If the key is locked by a private key, then it can be unlocked by using a public key. That is the difference, or that is the procedure used in this encryption. Okay. For this security and for the protection by the encryption, that means coding the words or the data by using 128 characters like the numbers or the alphabets or the signs, etc. So this coding system is used under this procedure, that is under encryption. Okay, so it is a locking system. It is a process of making messages in mm, it is a process of making messages that is indecipherable. What is the meaning of indecipherable? The messages which is communicated, that is to be protected. It as a confidential one. So indecipherable messages is a most important object of the encryption. Only those recipients with an authorized key to the coding can retrieve the data. So all the messages it can be keep in a coding by using a coding method, and they can retrieve the data. For example, the word web might be coded as like this: any method or any character, there is 128 characters which you can use for this coding system. Any letters or any numbers we can use for this coding. Okay, every letter and every number in the encrypted data would have similarly complex coding. For this coding, we can use any letter or any number, which may include as many as 128 characters for each letter or number for security. So, encryption means a locking system for the protection of the users like the business partners. Next one, the security. There are different authentication methods used for the security. Sometimes it is password, something you know, that is the password, something you have, that is the smart card, something you are, that is biometrics. So these are the authentication methods for the security and protection of these websites, the communications or the information coming through these websites. For this, we use firewalls, proxy servers, intrusion detection, then denial of service attacks, virus, worms, etc. So the component is we must protect or secure or make it confidential to avoid all damages or the hackers, etc. They will make it a proper systematic management planning and information. They will store all the informations all the communication made through the users by using a systematic planning and management system. So the main component is the security. Next one, there is for the electronic payment, we must use or we must secure the parties involved in the business transaction, that is e-commerce transaction. Likewise, we use what is the source or the supporter or the provider we use for the electronic payment. That one is electronic credit cards. So electronic credit cards make it possible to charge online payments to one's credit card account. So all by using the cards, all must have a credit card account. From this credit card account, they can transfer their amount to the business organization electronically. That the supporter or the provider or the source which is used is the electronic cards. It is easy and simple for a buyer to email or submit her or his credit number to the seller. So they must have a identical or unique number to give or to identify a buyer at the time of making an electronic payment. For this, they must use or give a credit card number. But there is a risk. What is the risk involved in giving the credit card number? That is the hackers. We must fear about the hackers. There are many hackers involved in these type of electronic transactions. The risk here is that hackers will be able to read the credit card number by hacking the websites. So we must make careful or give protection or security at the time of dealing with these e-commerce transactions. For security, only cards with the encrypted information must be used. For protecting the hackers or for can escape from the hackers, we must use the encryption method to transfer the information about the cards. So this is the connection between the encryption and the electronic credit cards for the security, okay, or for the protection of the buyers or the users or the persons who are involved in the e-commerce transactions. Next, electronic payment system, which is used by the business partners, that is electronic fund transfer, that is EFT. Electronic fund transfer of money using telecommunication network. We can use any supporting device or any supporter for or different types of there are different types of network. Each network, any type of network we can use for the electronic fund transfer. It is by using a telecommunication system or technology. Electronic fund transfer is very fast. That is a main advantage of electronic fund transfer. And it handle daily large volume of business transaction. All account holders can make many number of financial transactions daily, weekly, monthly, etc. But if we withdraw or deposit money, the banks are restricted number of volumes daily for the payment and withdrawal and deposit. For by using the electronic fund transfer, there is no restriction about the volume of the business transaction. If they can handle a daily large volume of business transaction, they can withdraw or they can use their fund at any time, and the volume of amount is ignored at the time of using the electronic fund transfer. Okay. Then the last one, electronic fund transfer based ATMs, that is teller machines, are available in shopping centers and business areas. We can't bear or we can't move, we can't hold any money along with the along with when you go to the or when you enter any shop or a business malls, we does not bear, we does not hold any money. uh, we can use the debit cards or the credit cards, or we can the shopping malls, there must be any ATMs telling me teller machines. These machines can use for the electronic fund transfer also. So these are the advantages of electronic fund transfer. Okay. The next one, the last one in the electronic payment, that is electronic wallets. I already told about what is the wallets. Wallets means a plastic card which hold a pocket-sized flat folding case for holding money. We cannot bring the or hold money. We can use only these plastic cards. These plastic cards we can use for the business transactions, eliminating entry armed storage of information on a merchant's server. That is, we can't the informations or the communication between the users, that we can we already at the in the traditional method there is many type of communication, that is face-to-face communication. But in the electronic or e-commerce, there is no communication. It is the all the informations are coming and going through the electronic basis, that is by using EDI, etc. So eliminating entry and storage of information on a merchant server. So we can eliminate by using these electronic wallets. One click shopping, we can use only one click for the payment of our transaction. That means our shopping, we can purchase any properties or any products by giving our these wallets and click for the payment, one click for the payment. Credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard offer e-wallet service, as do Yahoo, America Online, that is quick checkouts, and Microsoft for the passport, etc. So these are the electronic wallets objectives or the characters or the features of electronic wallets. Okay. Next one, the M-commerce. We know about the M-commerce, that means mobile commerce. Until recently, almost all e-commerce transactions took place over wired networks. What is the meaning of wired network? There is no wire connection. That is the main, like the laptops and the mobile phones. That mobile phones and the laptops are we use tabs, etc. are used for the e-commerce transactions. Cell phones and other wireless handled digital appliances are internet enabled, okay, by using any broadband lines like etc. The use of handheld wireless devices for purchasing goods and service has been termed mobile commerce or m-commerce, that is conduct of e-commerce via wireless devices. So that is the meaning of m-commerce. M-commerce is also a component of the e-commerce infrastructure. Next one, trends in internet applications. We already, at the time of the introduction, we told about we must update the trends of the customers. The all business organization must satisfy the requirements of the customers. The trends of the customers or the taste of the customers is always changing. For updation of the trends and the internet applications also, the technology is also is to be updated by using the internet TV, that means the web TV, then the voice over IP. What is the meaning of voice over IP? That is internet protocol. Voice in through the internet protocol, that is used for the to the internet applications. The voice over internet protocol means a technology that allows you to make voice calls using a broadband internet connection instead of a regular phone line. So for this we use a technology to make a voice call or the video call like that. That is voice over internet protocol. Next one, that is internet telephone or internet telepathy. That means voice calls or video calls to be transmitted using the internet as a communication medium. So the medium which is used for this communication, that is internet telephone. And the last one, that is wireless or WAP. What is the meaning of WAP? That means wireless application protocol. It is also a technique. What is the technique involved in the wireless application protocol? That is, it is a technical standard for accessing information over a mobile wireless network. So there is a wireless application protocol. For this, a browser or a mobile phone which is used for this in communication. So the technical standard for accessing this information which is used at the time of using the WAP, that is wireless application protocol. So these are the internet applications which is most popularly used at the time of e-commerce infrastructure. What are they? Internet TV or web TV, voice over internet protocol, then internet telephone, and the wireless, that is wireless application protocol. So these are the trends in internet application. Next one, IT services. There are three types of IT services. What are they? First one, infrastructure as a service. Second one, software as a service. And the third one, platform as a service. So three methods are used at the time of information technology services. What are they? First one, infrastructure. Second one, software. And the third one, platform. Okay. Infrastructure as a service or IaaS, it is a cloud service. The infrastructure is a cloud service where the enterprise uses a pay as you go infrastructure from a service provider, offers a highly attractive, cost effective solution that benefits both parties. There are different parties involved in the e-commerce transaction. By giving infrastructure as a service, give a cloud service which encourage or which help to give a pay as you go. That means service provided or supported by the organization and offers an attractive terms for the purchase and cost effective solution for the benefit of both the parties, for the business organization and for the consumers. And the second service, that is software as a service, it enables an enterprise application to be run on a multi-tenant platform and delivered using internet protocol to any device. That is multi-tenant platform that is provided for the e-commerce development, delivering using internet protocol to any device. So it is another service provided. Then the last one, that is platform as a service, that is PaaS. It provides a platform to create and run applications in a pre-production environment. So under the platform service, they create and run the application, what is to be implemented in the hardware and software, that application is to be provided or created for the pre-production environment. So these are the services provided for the good and effective and efficient infrastructure of an organization. First one, infrastructure as a service, that gives a cloud service, and the software as a service, it enables enterprise to run on a multi-tenant platform and delivering system. And the third one, platform as a service, it provides a running application for the pre-production environment. So these are the services provided for the e-commerce infrastructure. Next one, inference. What is the methods or what are the effectiveness of inference? A robust interface as a part of infrastructure attracts more customers. That means there are two tools applied for the inference, that is UI tools. What is the meaning of UI? That is user interface. There are two tools, that is UI tools and UX tools. UI tools is used for design interface, that is user interface, that is the full form of UI, that is user interface. The user interface is used to design interface, but the UX tools, that is user experience service, that is used for users experience. So in the time of inference, we are using these two tools, that is UI tools and UX tools. UI tools means user interface, UX tools means users experience. Okay. A robust interface as a part of infrastructure attracts more customers. Third party UI tools, like that is user interface tools like Wopix, WooCommerce and Magneto offers attractive UI models. Okay. Then second one, cloud computing looks to be the future. That is the second one. Companies like Amazon, Google, GoDaddy.com, Cisco, and Microsoft are providing cloud-based system to most of the e-commerce business. So for the effective and implementation of e-commerce, we use these types of cloud tools, or we depend the different companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, etc. Then shopclues.com being powered by godaddy.com, it is the most popular one. Okay. Next one, with the Cisco dealing Alcatel Lucent and Juniper investing hugely in IT hardware infrastructure, the future of e-commerce industry looks bright. So the most important component of the e-commerce infrastructure, that is the hardware. The hardwares are supported or provided by Cisco, D-Link, Juniper, etc. So these companies always update their technology for the flourishing and effective development or the efficiency or the effectiveness of the e-commerce. So they always updating their information and updating their technology for the maximizing the efficiency of the e-commerce. So we must use two different tools in the inference, that is UI and UX, user interface and users experience. So we concluding this topic, e-commerce infrastructure, and also the first module, e-commerce introduction. So this is the so we completing the first module. All okay. Thank you.